Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to Heather Rose Up. I am Heather. Before I get started with this week's weight loss update, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can continue to follow along on my weight loss journey. If you'd like to see how I did in the past 2 weeks, keep watching. I haven't done an update at all this week, and for no other reason other than it's just been a very busy schedule. I had lots of appointments, lots of errands, and then Thursday came around and I'm like, well, you know what? I might as well do a 2-week update so I'm not making 2 videos and making them long. So I'm just connecting this week's update with last week's. So before I get started and let you know how I did recently, let's catch up and I will show you how I did last week. Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Last week's video I ended on a Monday and that was yesterday obviously. And the video has been posted and I am starting this week's vlog on a Tuesday. It has been a 4-day weekend for my children and I, and today is like our Sunday, so we go back to work and school tomorrow. So this weekend has been a challenge for me. It was my daughter's birthday and we had lots of plans that surrounded food. Friday we went to a hockey game and I had pizza. We had meal vouchers. We got free tickets to go, free meal vouchers. So I had real pizza and it was so good and I counted it and I worked around it. And then Sunday we went to a buffet and to celebrate my daughter's birthday, and I worked around it and I counted it as best as I can. That's definitely a challenge, going to a buffet and trying to track. But you know, if you're ever in that scenario where you don't know how to track, just do the best that you can, which is honest tracking. And then we had cake for my daughter's birthday and I had a slice of cake, and then I ended the week with 0 weekly smart points. And then I realized that I was struggling with continuing on to that. And instead of adjusting after that, I continued to eat more. So now I'm currently at negative 14 weekly smart points. And I feel like I'm back to where I was when I was struggling on purple. But I'm trying not to feel too defeated because I have been counting everything. So the cake is gone. The chocolates are gone. Oh, and I also got chocolates from my husband for Valentine's Day, which was super sweet. They were sugar-free chocolates, and that's another thing. They were from a chocolate shop, so I couldn't find them on the tracker, so I just tracked them as best as I could, and I counted 5 points for 2 pieces. I could be off, but that's how I tracked it. So I struggled. There was a lot of different foods that I didn't want to deprive myself of, and now I'm negative in the weeklies. But again, the thing is, I'm tracking it, all of it, as best as I can, again. So that's a win for me. I'm still doing my 100 days of honest tracking. I am close to 40 days now, and I'm still chugging along. I am not going to give up on this. I've gone too far into this challenge to give up. So even if I'm negative 14 weeklies on a Tuesday, I'm going to keep tracking. Who knows how far I could have gone after that. If I had eaten the way I did this weekend, I could have said, you know what, cut my losses, I'll start back on Friday. And I'm not doing that. So I'm holding myself accountable. I'm still tracking and moving along. Hopefully the rest of this week, I'm able to stay on plan. I know I'm not going to get all of those weekly points back, even if I got 4 rollovers each day. No, I won't I will end this week in the negatives. Just hopefully it's not much further than I am now. So that's my plan. That's my game plan. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Last week I made a goal to do something important tomorrow, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to my gym tomorrow. I'm going to bite the bullet, and yeah, so keep watching and we'll see how that... No. I will be doing my update from the gym tomorrow. Watch. Next clip. Happy Wednesday. As you saw from the previous clip, I kept my word and I went to my community gym. I walked on the treadmill for 15 minutes. it's a start. My intentions were to walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes and then check out the weight machines. And so I got off the treadmill and I walked over to the machines and I'm looking at them and had no idea how they worked. And I see somebody else using them and I still couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, okay, 15 minutes on the treadmill. That was a good start. And then I mentally jot down the names of the machines to hopefully do some research so I feel like I look a little less ridiculous the next time I go in there. So I got in there and I'm going to give myself credit for that. I'm feeling a little bit disappointed, like I could have done better, and I'm trying not to go there. Because obviously it took me this much effort just to get in there in the first place. So I got that done. It was my goal for the week and I accomplished it. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it and know that I can just push forward and do even better next time. As far as smart points go, I am negative 17 weekly smart points now instead of 14. So I did dip into the weeklies a little bit further into the negative, but I did earn a blue dot. So I feel like I did better following plan yesterday. Tonight I have a 0 smart point dinner. We will be having tilapia and asparagus with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Not enough to count, and if it is, I will count it. So things should go well today, and I will check back in tomorrow. Happy Friday. I'm at Dub, and I'm going to have to do a post weigh-in reflection because I'm running late. It is Friday, not Thursday, obviously. So, yeah, I'm headed in there, and I will share my feelings afterwards. Let's see how I did. Happy Saturday. So as you saw in the previous clip, I went to my workshop yesterday and I did not record an update on Thursday. I struggled this week with my mindset. I was feeling defeated. And it's ironic that yesterday's workshop was about not focusing on the number on the scale. So throughout this week, I haven't weighed myself. I just recently bought a new scale because mine was broken. And so I wasn't weighing myself. So the number on the scale had nothing to do with how I was feeling. And I want to be honest, that's what this is about. I have ups and downs on the scale every week, and not every week as this journey has been going by. And then I have ups and downs when it comes to my emotions and feelings of how my journey is going. And sometimes I set myself up with certain expectations and forget to cut myself a little slack. And that's normal. If you've been following since I started this channel, that has happened a few times here and there. I went further into the negatives this week. I went, I think, 30 on the dot, negative 30 weekly smart points. And it's funny because I went into the week with some plans that don't usually occur, like birthday celebrations. I mentioned I went to a buffet, and when I went into the buffet, I went in and I even said to my husband, wow, this doesn't feel overwhelming. I went in there, not upset, not frustrated. I didn't feel anxious. I went and looked for foods that I knew I would want that would be lower in smart points. And then I also looked for foods that were worth the extra smart points for me. For instance, crab rangoon. I love crab rangoon. So I looked for those because I knew that was going to be worth it for me to have one. And I counted it. I counted everything that I ate that day. I've been counting everything I've eaten since 40 days ago, which we'll get into that in a second. Anyway, but it felt good. I felt empowered. I didn't feel like I was depriving myself, but I also felt like I was in control completely, which is something I lost track of as the week went on. So because I had already used up my weekly smart points, I think I struggled with balancing after that. And I noticed that I do tend to do that, especially when I was on purple, because I would use my daily smart points so quickly because I was only allowed 16. Now I'm allowed 23 daily smart points on my WW Blue plan. So I used up my weeklies fairly quickly this week. And then I just continued to eat as if I had those extra weeklies, I think. I noticed that I do tend to struggle with that. And I started to get in this negative mindset. And it happens. We all go through it on this journey. And then came Wednesday. Now, I have been posting these updates for a few weeks now, and each week I set a goal to go to the gym and I never went. And I finally went this week. And I should be proud of that, and I do feel proud now looking back at it. But I remember thinking after I had finished, and you could see it in my expressions on Wednesday when I did my update, that I only did 15 minutes. I didn't do anything other than cardio. And I started to think negatively and just kind of hung on to that. Instead of flipping it around and saying, I went. It was something that I struggled with, and I beat that. I accomplished it. I got in there. And yes, it was 15 minutes. It was 15 more minutes than I had the previous week and the previous week before that and before that, etc. I'm going to look at that as a positive and hang on to that. Then came Thursday when I was negative 30 weekly smart points. I think that's why I didn't do an update, because I was just feeling very negative and continued to go further into the negatives. Anyway, so when I went into my workshop, I remember thinking to myself, and I didn't know what the topic was going to be about. And I remember thinking, regardless of what the scale says, I know I could have done better. Not a false statement. I definitely could have done better. We can always do better though. But we're not going to really push ourselves unless we take credit for what we have done as well. And I wasn't taking credit for the work that I had done. I went to a buffet. I had pizza. I had cake. I counted everything. I went to the gym for 15 minutes. I was on the treadmill. Those are accomplishments. And no accomplishment is too small, especially on this weight loss journey, because you are setting your path for continuing and pushing through. So I went into the workshop and I weighed in. And I weighed in at 183.4, which means I lost a pound for a total of 36 pounds. That's a win. I went in there thinking negatively. Even if I had lost weight, I felt like I could have done better. That's okay. I could have done better, but I also did really well. And then the workshop was perfect because it was think outside the scale. And even though I was already beating myself up before the scale, as I'm sitting there with the workshop and we're discussing things like identify your non-scale victories, enjoy your successes. Those are the things you have got to hang on to, that I have got to hang on to help me with my success on this journey. So I think I've gotten myself out of that funk and I'm ready to take on this week. I am going to continue with the Blue program. I feel that it was a great change, and I feel like I would really like to stay on plan. I don't really have anything extravagant going on this week, so I would like to give it another shot of staying on plan. I think I'm going to continue on Blue for a while until I feel like I need a change again. So today is day 41 of the 100 days of honest tracking, and I'm still chugging along, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Today is also February 22nd, 2020, and on February 22nd of 2019 was when I set foot into my WW studio for the first time last year. So today is my 1 year WW anniversary. I will be doing a completely separate update for my 1 year on WW and my 1 year on YouTube, because March, I believe, is when I first uploaded my very first video. So I will be doing a video to commemorate that and to do a full 1 year update on that. This video is specifically for this week. My goal for next week is to get back into the gym, and I'm going to do 20 minutes of activity for one day and to stay on plan and to continue with my honest tracking. And again, if I go into the negative, I'm still focusing on the honest tracking for 100 days. I'm almost halfway there, and I will finish this. And now we're back to Friday. I just got back from my workshop, my WW workshop. And as you saw in the previous clips, I did well with accomplishing my goals for last week, and I made some goals for this week. This week, I still stayed on plan. I did my honest tracking. I did not go to the gym. I don't know what it is, what my mental block is with going to the gym, but I'm starting to kind of figure it out. And ironically, today's topic at the workshop was activity and how we have to pick something that we like. Well, I already paid for this membership and I will get myself in there. I just have to figure out how to make it into something that I like. And I did some brainstorming while I was in my workshop today. But before I talk about my goals for next week, how did weigh-in go? I weighed in at 183.2, which means I lost 0.2 of a pound. I'll take it. A loss is a win. We talked about activity in the workshop and how we can get ourselves motivated to do so. And somebody suggested, actually it was the person who was leading the workshop that suggested, she set a goal to go on her treadmill every day, and she said, I'm not going to watch my shows, my DVR shows, unless I'm on the treadmill. And I'm thinking to myself, I have a lot of YouTubers that I follow. My favorite is Jess Fam. I've mentioned her before. She's not at all weight loss. She's more family lifestyle, but it's a great channel. If you haven't checked her out, go do so. Anyway, I have decided next week I won't be watching her videos, and she posts every other day unless I'm at the gym. But I know I have to be more specific than that. So my goal is to go 2 days next week. So my goals for next week are to stay on plan, which I am still following the blue plan. So my honest tracking, which by the way, I'm on day 41 of honest tracking out of 100. I'm almost halfway there. I'm pushing through. It has become second nature, and I have stopped judging myself if I go over a little bit. And this past week, I did not go over. I ended yesterday with 0 weekly smart points. So I'm still staying on plan. All over the place. I'm trying to get this short. So next week, just to recap, the goals are to honest track, stay on plan, and go to the gym for 2 days. I know I keep saying I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm hopeful that me saying I'm not allowed to watch my YouTube shows that I love, or videos that I love to watch, unless I'm at the gym. I will get there. I will get back into being active again, and I will get there. If you've been following me since the beginning, I used to be a lot more active, and I don't know if it's the winter. I don't know what excuse is in my brain that is stopping me from being more active. I'm gonna figure it out though. So, thank you for following my confusing video for the week and for last week. If you found this video helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I love the comments and the notes of encouragement that people have been giving me. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in a week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.